Hello and welcome to another live Golfers Ramblings. I hope you are all well. Just want to apologise first of all for last week and obviously me not being on. I was laid up in bed with a migraine, so I do apologise, but we're back this week. Now, a little bit of a difference this week. I'm not going to talk so much about golf, as in playing golf and so on. I'm going to talk about the benefits of golf to mental health, because I think it's something we don't talk enough about. It's a subject that's certainly close to my heart. So yeah, initially it's just going to be me and Lee. Then I'm going to throw it out open and we'll let people in. The link to the Zoom will be in the comments very, very soon. So for me personally, I find playing golf a massive release mentally. It's a time where I can go on the golf course, be on my own if I want to be, and sort of contemplate things, reflect on things, and just sort of, it's almost like therapy for me. So it's like if I'm having a bad time or I'm feeling low, I'll go and play golf on my own, just so I can sort of gather my thoughts and sort of reset, as it were, and get into a better place. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, I think it's the fact that you can go on a golf course, you can disengage with the outside world for them 4.5 hours that you are on the golf course on your own, and the only thing you're thinking about is your game.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely do you start walking up a fairway thinking, right, okay, well, I've got to pay the mortgage this month.
That's it.
Ever.
You tend not to think about things like that, and you tend to be. I always tend to think more positively when I'm on a golf course. So if I am thinking about things away from golf, like you say, mortgage payments, bills, work, family problems, it tends to. I always manage to put a more positive spin on it when I'm on the golf course than I do, I don't know, sat in the house watching telly or sat in the garden or whatever. I'm always able to put a more positive spin on it.
I think a lot of the times is because when you're on a golf course, your mind is actively thinking about the activity that you're doing.
Yeah.
And as golfers, we're very good at going, well, I need to hit this shot. I need to do this. I need to do that. You just don't have the time to factor in your life, your normal day-to-day life. But when you do, you're a relaxed state. You know, you're able to just think about things a little bit differently to what you would be.
Yeah. And I think as well, as a generation, we still don't talk enough about mental health and depression and stuff like that.
We just don't. And mental health comes under quite a lot of things. It's not just your depression. You've also got anxiety. You've got, I can even put it to dementia, Alzheimer's, because it's all a mental illness.
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, I think for me, my observation and my personal experience, I think depression and anxiety I find they tend to come together.
Absolutely.
So, for example, if I'm having a bout of depression, I'm having a bout of anxiety as well.
100%.
I'm getting them both together at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't suffer with anxiety too bad. That's something I don't get terrible, but obviously depression hits me time to time. Obviously, I've spoke to you about it. Obviously, Kent knows I spoke to you about it.
Yeah.
Spoke to him about it. So, but I think we all suffer from it, but not enough of us speak about it. Now, I seen a crazy fact the other day, and this is a European fact. There are 50 mental health workers per 100,000 people. Wow. That's across Europe. In America, it's 28.
It's rife, isn't it?
It's, that should tell you something, that we're not taking mental health seriously. Now,
I think over the years it's getting better, but it's still not up there with the likes of something else, like like the Big C or something like that. It's never taken as serious as that. Even to the point, I look at the dementia when Dad was first diagnosed. Yeah, it was nothing there, but now there's loads there.
That's it.
You see the adverts on TV, you see everything else, and we just hope that if they can do it for one sector, they can do it for them all.
Absolutely, man. I think as I've grown up, I've seen it become more and more acceptable to talk about it. Yes. So I think when I first sort of started suffering, as it were, it was a case of put up and shut up. You know, man up. You're just sad, or you're just tired, or smile. And I think more time's gone on and more we've grown, I think it's become more socially acceptable to talk about it and express it. So I think, let's say 10 years down the line, I think mental health will be in a much, not mental health itself, but the support functions will be in a much better place.
You'd like to hope so.
Yeah, I think yeah.
And I think as any sport, not just golf, whether we're talking table tennis, whether we're talking cricket, football, you have that release where you're not thinking about it for that period of time.
Yeah, I mean, just jumping slightly a little bit.
You go.
Fraser Beach has just said in the comments, a friend of his, a golf mate, passed away, killed himself because his wife left in, and he couldn't deal with it. Now, another stat: 78% of all suicide are male.
Bad, isn't it?
That's a frightening figure.
See,
a frightening figure.
I've attended lots of them. Yeah,
you've been in a position where you've, being the jobs that you've done, you've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
So yeah, but coming back round to the golf, I think as well, it's not. I don't just think it's the playing golf. I think we have a community, or some of us have a community that we're part of, which most are in here.
Yeah.
Where we can freely talk about how we're feeling, and I think that massively, massively helps.
I think that's because the most important part about it is you're not judged. Exactly. That's the important part, is 100%. Nobody will judge you for anything, especially within, like you say, in our little community.
Yeah.
If we said something to somebody, you've got the support there from other people.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple like Neil, all hail Neil, and Ken, both said they've got they have first aiders, mental health first aiders at work, but they just pay lip service. And I think a lot of companies are guilty of doing that, having a mental health day or a mental health first aider that don't really pay attention, don't really do what they should be doing. It's just a HR tick box.
Yeah. And again, that's sad.
It's sad, and it can often make things worse, because if you're talking to someone and they're not listening, or they don't want to, or you feel they're not taking it on board, it's almost a pointless session. It can make you go backwards.
Of course it can.
You know,
you feel like nobody's there to help and support you and guide you. So, I mean,
yeah, that's it.
How many times, you've said it before, how many times as a man do you get told to just pull your socks up and crack on?
Frequently. I'm quite lucky at work that a lot of people know the situation I'm in. So it's a case of, if I'm feeling that way, it's a case of just do what you need to do, sort of thing.
I found out along the grapevine there were certain chief constables within the country who suffer from depression and anxiety, but made to work.
Yeah.
Because it would have put them in a very unprecedented position.
You get it a lot, mate. Again, you see it still in the military that people are suffering, but they're still going out, still doing tours, still working. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. But I think golf and the golf community massively, massively helps. And the reason I wanted to do this, last week, is obviously first lockdown, I was fine. Wasn't really bothered. This lockdown, I've suffered more in my head than I did in the first one. So I thought, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to rant and say golf clubs should be open, because I understand why they're not open. I get it.
Yeah.
But I also understand that they do a lot more than just physical exercise.
Yeah, I think the hardest bit is the first lockdown. Everybody didn't know what was going on. You were told to stay indoors and do X, Y, and Z, and you could go for one walk and it would be one form of exercise. But then we had November, which the boundaries were pushed. No two qualms about it.
Yeah.
So we've came into this one. They've said we can do a walk and we can do it around a golf course and we can do it for several hours, but we can't take the clubs. So I think if they said, sit down, behave, you're going nowhere, your mental attitude to it would be, well, all right then.
That's it. I can't do it. But I think you're possibly right. The frustration of I can go for a walk around a golf course with my mate from another house.
Mm-hmm.
We can't go with our golf clubs, which it is a frustration. It is a frustration. But again, I can see why they're doing certain things.
100%.
You know.
100%.
Sorry, I'm just reading the comments.
Mate, it's your channel.
So yeah, I mean, Neil, all hail Neil again, is put a manager gave him an action plan to log any issues that he hadn't thought that was dealing with the issue. All that's going to do is diarise how you're feeling when you're feeling. It's not it's not discussing why you're feeling like that or anything. That's like you say, Neil, that's just paying massive lip service.
I mean, they used to say back in the day, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Absolutely.
Putting it on pen and paper isn't halving it.
No, it's not. Colston's made a really good comment, and I think he might actually have a point. He thinks, and to be fair, I do as well, that after COVID and the amount of mental health cases have increased, they will put a focus on mental health. Because I think part of COVID, a good thing that's come out of COVID, I think, is people are talking more freely about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it has been more acceptable, as it were. You know, so do you want to stick the link in the comments and we'll let a few bodies in, letting them have a chat and see what they think about the whole situation and how they deal with things?
There we go, done.
So guys, if any of you want to jump on the chat, the link is there. Just hit that and we'll have a chat.
I'll just see what Ian's put. What have I said that's bullshit?
I'm not sure, mate.
Here, what's he said?
What's he said? What's wrong? No, Kent, you're right. It can't get much worse.
Can get a lot better.
So, Jeff, pitch and putt, is a trained first aid, a mental health first aider, and it's still difficult, and your own mental health can suffer. So, Jeff, as a mental health first aider, what are you taught, or how are you told to deal with an individual case? So, if someone comes to you and said, "I'm suffering with mental health. This is a situation." How do you go about? How do you go about dealing with it? What is the situation? It'd be interesting to know how he has to deal with that. Ian can't remember what you said.
He's useless. Ian can't remember where he left his bloody jacket.
Yeah, to be fair. So, yeah. Anybody coming? No one's coming on tonight, mate. It's like a podcast.
No, it's just me and you.
It's like a podcast with video.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we may as well. I don't mind. So, for those of you that don't already know, going off topic, on topic, there is no topic. Myself and Lee, Golf Nuts, we started a podcast, 3-Putt Podcast, which can be found on iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, and all other hosts. First episode was out last Sunday. Next episode will be out this Sunday coming.
Yes. Oh, it was about a problem shared. No. To be fair, I always find if I have something that I'm seething up about, if I was to ring, like you, for example, you're a prime example. I speak to you every day. Yeah. If I ring you and have a rant, I feel better for it.
Agreed, mate, and I'll do the same with you.
100% you do.
Mr. Whitcomb is in the house. How are you?
I wasn't going to come on for 10 minutes, but nobody was joining you, and I felt a bit sorry.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Hey, we got this, mate. We got it.
I'm just doing roasties. Sorry.
Nice bit of roast taters. Mr. Carter Smith, how are you?
Hey guys, yeah, good.
Yes.
Good to see
Are you working first time?
This is helping with mental health. All these chats, all this technology. I think
I think this sort of thing definitely helps. But do you boys think golf helps you and with your mental state? If at all you suffer, you might not even suffer. I know, Ferg, you must do, mate.
I'll let Stuart talk first. I'm just doing something in a minute. I'll be with you in a minute.
For me, it's I can't say that I've particularly suffered, but I have been around many people that have suffered, greatly from it. And as you were saying earlier, many people have kept it quiet for so long. So it's been such a kind of unknown and sort of seemingly sparse sort of disability almost. Whereas it's not, everybody suffers from it. I mean, a few things that I've had in the past, as far as kind of like a mild panic attack or something, I've just put it down to almost being kind of a bit sort of maybe having too much to drink, or just putting it down to something else. And I think the more people sort of realize what it is and how many people have got it and can share these things, the better. And I hope like that the more people that discuss it and the more people that connect with it, it will become, like, I'm dyslexic, for instance, and that was always, at school, it was a weird thing, whereas now I know so many people that are the same. You get your sort of film stars coming out and they're saying it. And so now it's like in some of our kids, we've got 4 kids and a couple of them are dyslexic, and there's nothing, I mean, it's probably my fault, but they just immediately will say it with no qualms at all. Just like being tall or short or anything else. They're just I'm dyslexic, etc.
I suffer with it as well, and it wasn't until my GCSE year that the school actually found out I was dyslexic. They just thought I was stupid and couldn't spell.
I never found out personally.
It turns out I was dyslexic. So I think that's it's a lot more common than we think, isn't it?
I think if the stigma can go, it can be shared more, and then people can talk about it more, and it's. I mean, we've all had these friends in the past that, are particularly down sometimes, and you always put it down to, he's a bit moody, but, that would have been more than likely a mental health issue, and something that should have been sort of encouraged to support rather than, we better not invite him out because he's a bit moody, sort of thing,
that's it. And rather than looking at what's going on beyond the veil. I mean, Ian, what about, obviously you're in the military, obviously, so PTSD sort of is rife or potentially rife. How do you personally deal with it, and how do you feel that the military deal with it?
Difficult, because I think the thing that people struggle with them certainly are, because people don't know that it's what we're talking about. I don't know if I've noticed a change in me, but I don't know what it is. And that's the difficulty I find. I noticed a change in me after I don't want to talk about like war and that bollocks, to be honest, but I certainly have noticed a change in me. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and grumpy or what it is, but I've noticed changes. I talked about this on the Paul Jackson thing, that I thought I've noticed things in me, but I don't know what it is. I'm short of patience. I don't sleep well. There's a graph I found online, actually, and it tells you 4 different colors: green, yellow, amber, red, and it lists symptoms. With the yellow one being like sleeping well, good relationships, all the way up to suicidal thoughts, yada yada yada, in the red. And I fit into one of those, the yellow, which is struggle sleeping, struggle with relationships. Sometimes I can't be bothered speaking to people. Sometimes I can't be, you need to isolate yourself. And I don't. Sometimes you just think it's grumpy. The military are really good at it. Obviously, we've come a long way since you was in, mate, and since I joined, because it was that man up culture.
It was bad.
It's miles better. Sport helps if we're talking about golf. Exercise helps, I think. Which is difficult for some people, because there's a generation of us, our generation. I don't know about you boys, but I didn't really have to worry about going for a run. I always played football or rugby or cricket or golf. So exercise was never a thing I did, because it was always, my exercise was a sport.
Yeah, your exercise was part of the things you enjoyed.
Yeah. So now as those sports fall away, suddenly I've only got golf. You take away that single sport that keeps me active. Now what have I got? Because I've never had to go for a run.
Yeah.
So although I'm just getting back to the golf subject, although I think it's the right thing to do to close golf courses, because I think it's all for one and one for all, almost, with COVID, because I think it's bigger than that. 1,500 people have died today. I understand the point of view that this is even as you get older, my grand played till he was 80. That was his day out with his mates.
That's it.
That's what kept him active. And I think half the battle with older people is staying active, getting out on the golf course, not kind of throwing the towel in and thinking I'm old now, I'm just going to stay indoors. So it's really difficult, mate. The golf, I understand both sides of the argument because it does play a massive part in so many people's lives. It does for me. It does for all of us. I just think it's a really difficult one.
Yeah, I mean, I fully understand. I fully understand the golf courses being closed and why they're closed. But obviously, I also understand that the fact they are closed, that it's going to massively impact on a lot of people's mental health as well.
Yeah. Fergus, would you say that this is quite a new thing for you, the kind of realizing your mental health, like let's say the yellow band that you're in, is this quite a new thing, or? I mean, not a new thing in your physical being, but new thing for you to realize.
I don't know, mate, to be honest. I've noticed that I'm getting less and less, I'm getting more and more impatient. Yeah. And I don't know what that is. I struggle to sleep quite a lot. I don't know what that is. I noticed a change in me when I came back from Afghanistan, that I just didn't have any patience. I wasn't on the front line. Don't get me wrong. I'm not infantry where I'm pulling triggers, but
I guess my next thing was mention it to other people, like on the show, like when that was the first time I heard about it. I mean, it wasn't a shocking revelation to me. I didn't know either way, but just assume that a lot of people do have problems one way or another. And I just wonder whether you saying that, whether it made you feel any better or sharing it helps.
It's odd because I'm not a great talker. I'm not one for sharing issues and sharing problems.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
It's odd because now, listen, I would never say I'm struggling with my mental health. I think we all have kind of battle with ourselves from time to time and recognizing it, and coping mechanisms are important. But listen, it's good. It's probably the only thing I've ever spoke about that I think to myself, actually, it's probably done me some good because other things go on, you know, you might have to pay a bill and
it's kind of like exposing yourself a bit, isn't it? It's that breaking that barrier down, because I do the same. I'm kind of quite, and I think going back to the start of this whole thing about golf is from a very young age, I was almost sort of self-trained to hide my emotions. And it kind of did reflect on relationships and a lot of my life. Actually, I've been a bit of I've gone out, with lots of people as far as mates and stuff, but I've actually been quite insular because I've never really wanted to dish out my personality too much because I've always wanted to keep it, controlled environment. And I think that's all down to the golf, not getting it too excited, not showing emotion, not letting people see that they're getting to me on a golf course I'm basing this to, but I think that then rubs off in the future. And I think that's not a great thing later on in life, which is kind of where someone like Fergs might be with a few small issues, but just like shoveling them away. And then all of a sudden they build up into something that's uncontrollably upsetting,
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was a number of years ago. I was similar. I didn't talk about anything. It was literally bottle it up, and I'd explode. And bottle it up. But then I was working, it was the time I was working, I'd left obviously the military at this point. I was working for Barclays and they literally put me through counselling. So they paid for it and they did 6 or 8 months of counselling. And genuinely, I can't recommend it highly enough. And I was always that person prior, like, I'm all right, or there's nothing wrong with you, mate. Yeah. But having that counselling, I can't recommend it highly enough. Genuinely, and it's opened my eyes to make me speak about it more. Select people I'll speak about it in detail, but it's well worth talking about if you are suffering, even a little bit.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think YouTube got on YouTube doing golf helps? Because I've seen it now where I've moved away from golf on YouTube. And it's a lot more supportive. It's ridiculous.
I was going to.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
I was just going to say I was going to bring specifically the golf YouTube into it. But no, it's fine. You've brought it forward. And was it last night, the night before? I put a tweet out saying, "Enough Twitter for tonight. I'm going to bed." And literally, Twitter's toxic at the best of times. I can't remember. you know what I'm talking about without me saying it. I can't remember what night it is, but it was just pure toxicity from both sides of the fence. There's no need for that. That's that side of things I don't need. And I can't remember who I was talking to, whether it was Lee or it might have even been you, Fergs. Obviously, I've started a second channel, and I don't know if the golf channel is going to last a whole lot longer for partially that reason, similar reason to why you, Jack Fergs. It is getting nasty again very quickly.
I was actually thinking yesterday, isn't it funny the way, and I'm not in any way accusing anybody now, but I just, you flick through the golf YouTube and you've got a pro giving you or dishing out his well-earned secrets to anybody who wants to listen and learn how to play golf. You got the next one dishing out more well-learned secrets. And yet as soon as you say, which we don't, but if you did say, tell me, how did you get that connection with this such and such company to help your Twitter channel do this or do that? It's like, boom. And you think, isn't it amazing how they're so giving? And it seems like in other genres, they're like, this is how much I earn, and this is how I did it. This is exactly how I did it. And this is how I kind of develop my skills as a YouTuber. And this is how I get people. Whereas it seems like golf is so funny because we can just flip channels if we want and go and learn the same thing somewhere else. But it seems like we're all a little bit sort of naive to YouTube. It seems so new for golf, or let's say that I don't feel like we're mature as YouTubers.
Yes, I mean,
that's not in age. That's just because you've got 20-year-olds that have got 10 million followers, and they're just completely go for it, guys. Try this and try that, and try this and try that. It's so encouraging.
I think our community. When I say our community, I mean the people that we sort of. Our small community, we're quite good in the last 12 months and we'll share things around. Whereas, like you say, if you go to a big guy, they shut you down. I've got one vlog out on the car channel at the minute. And already after that first one, we've got bigger channels interested in coming on the vlogcast to talk to us. And Fergs, you're the same, aren't you? In the fragrance side of things, people are interacting with you on a much bigger scale. And it's such a different world to the golf side of things.
I think it's slightly different in the fact that you've got two sides of the golfing house. You've got people who PJ pros who earn money from coaching and hobbyists, if you like, or whatever you want to call them. Whereas perhaps in other genres, it's only a hobby.
It's not though, is it? So if you
I know you earn money from YouTube, I get that, but away from YouTube slightly.
But if you look at, I don't know so much about the fragrance side of things, but if you look at motoring, you look at someone like Car Wow. If you look at someone like Joe Achilles, they're motoring journalists. It's their job. So they're the equivalent of Rick Shields. They're the equivalent of Peter Finch. Now, Joe's already said he wants to come on the channel.
That's so good.
So it is
brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Not defending the big boys, but I think what Rick said on our podcast was if you approach him in the right way, he'll come on. He said that people send tweets going, he doesn't do this and he doesn't that. And I think that's probably unfair. I think he probably would. I think Rick's been quite good recently with
absolutely. Rick's been really good.
He's got nothing to lose, has he? But
he's
I know what you're talking
about.
But
I think he's maturing as well. Don't you think? I feel like he's appreciating that. There's a lot of us out there all trying, and we were all in one place. And if one of any of the smaller channels suddenly had 10 million viewers, they would turn likewise in kind. I feel there's such a big disparity between like the thousands and the million that it's almost such a big void. It seems in the other worlds, if you go to say tech, if you look at the channel, they've all got a couple of 100,000 followers and they're all working their way up, whereas there's very few that have got, like 50 followers or something,
Yeah, it's the car world's very similar. You've got very few in the millions, lots in the hundreds of thousands, but their views are insane. Their views are ridiculous.
Can I talk about can I just mention something? So I recognized what we were talking about earlier on the mental health. I've struggled with negativity on the channel.
Yes.
Right. So
sorry,
I don't see much of that early on in the new stuff I'm doing. I don't know about you, Graham, but there was a lot more negativity in the golf world than there is in what I'm doing now. And I watched a vlog about an hour ago on one of the one of the person's channels that we probably don't need to mention, that's not been great on Twitter recently, saying that YouTube, you have to be thick-skinned to be a YouTuber. I couldn't disagree more.
You have to be thick-skinned to be a golf YouTuber.
I don't think you should. I think there's a place for everybody. And actually, the best role models are the ones that have gone through it and come out the other side and may well still struggle with mental health. But they're the ones you want to listen to. It's like I don't know. I don't know if it was one of you guys. Oh no, it was a friend actually. Kids in gangs in London don't want to listen to white politicians.
I'm just going to stop you for a second. Are we not friends, Ian?
No, sorry, mate. so
not bad. So
young gang members in London don't want to listen to politicians. They want to listen to ex-gang members.
Fact.
So people struggling with mental health, I'm probably not the best person to give anybody advice. You have to listen to somebody that's gone through the same journey as you. So absolutely there's a place for people on YouTube that aren't quite as strong-minded or thick-skinned as perhaps some other people are.
No, I agree. I
just wanted to say that. Sorry.
No, you're not wrong, mate. But I think if you do suffer, it's how you deal with that negativity, because it will come at some point.
It will.
I think for all of us at some point, it's going to happen. But again, I don't think there's a place for it. I don't think there's any need for it.
No, but it's just society today. There's arseholes everywhere.
No, absolutely.
It is so fascinating, isn't it? I think if you get enough people in a group, you're going to get some that are just going to be a little bit weird, because I mean, it's free content for them. I just watch it or don't watch it. I mean, if somebody is that aggressively against something, just like don't watch it.
Have you had any, Stu?
No, I actually haven't had. No, I haven't. But I've not done anything so far that is particularly objective. Like I've started to do a few more reviews because it helps and it's something to do. But generally in the past, it's just a course vlog, and I play pretty well. So you can't sort of come on and say, what do you know? So I don't really get too many people doing that. I do. I think it's very difficult when you're sort of off 15 and you're trying to be a golf kind of a course vlogger, because people are going to come on and say, well, you should have done this and you should have done that, and so you're going to get a lot of that kind of resistance from people who obviously think they're better than you or struggling, or you get jealousy as well. But to be honest, I don't. But I think also the few that I have had are ridiculous things like, why do you golfers, like, why do you golf YouTubers insist on having background music? And they get quite sort of aggressive about it. And I just
I had one not so long ago. This is the best one, right? I turned off after a minute. Mate, not everyone likes hip hop. I clicked on him, and he had a guitar channel, and I went, mate, not everyone likes guitars. And he was like, "Oh, there's no need to be like that." I was like, "Well, it's as ridiculous as your comment was."
It's as ridiculous, yeah, it is. But there's always one out there, and you never know, do you, what they're dealing with? You never know how bad a day they're having or what's just happened, So I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But ultimately, they're not paying for it. If they were charged to come to the channel, then I would feel really bereaved. I'd be going back saying, I'm so sorry, I'll give you your money back. I mean, I'm so sorry you had to pay for it. I did my best, but it's
Can I give the best example I've heard about this, right? It was a Ricky Gervais cut, right? It wasn't about this. It was about, he said, you can make a joke about anything, right? You can joke about anything. He said, I put a tweet out, then somebody gets pissed off about a tweet. Or I put a YouTube video out and somebody gets pissed off about the YouTube chat video, right? The equivalent is walking into a town square, seeing a banner up saying free massages and going, but I don't want a free fucking massage.
Ricky Gervais, he's absolutely spot on. He's absolutely he makes jokes that are so close to the knuckle, but then you think, you don't have to listen to it. He's like, you don't have to listen to it. Yeah. If you don't like me, if you don't like what I'm saying, don't listen.
Yeah, he's dead right. He's got the social thing down, hasn't he? I think him and someone like Stephen Fry, you just listen to those guys because they've been around it for so long from the start of it with massive channels. Yeah, I think the other one was he said something like knocking on people's doors and saying, I don't want to talk to you.
That's literally it, isn't it? That's the equivalent of someone coming on your YouTube channel and saying, that was shit. Don't watch it, mate. Don't watch it. You know, like I'm all for constructive criticism on video. So like if someone watches says you could have done this bit a little bit better if you'd have tried this, rather than saying that was crap, mate, or I don't like hip hop.
Yeah, the thing is, we all know as well, like the criticism are often so unjust because they've got no they've got no concept of what has gone into making it.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, and the things we try and hide with a bit of music because there's a buzz on the microphone or something, all those kind of things. And so you just know straight away that actually, you know, if someone comes on and says, oh, your shutter speed was a bit out or something, you think, oh, yeah,
you know what you're
I didn't even realize, you know what you're talking about. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going away from mental health, but I think it is all kind of along the same thing. It's people
I think
just
it's all
wanting
related.
To be heard, isn't it? They're all trying to just, you know, please talk to me, you know, sort of thing.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think Corinne's made a really good point in the comments. She's put some people get up in the morning, and the sole purpose is to troll people. It makes them feel better. Now, that person that's got up feeling like that and wanting to do that to make themselves better have clearly got a mental issue that needs addressing. So I think I think even the arseholes that are giving you grief have potentially got some issues underlying or that are blaringly obvious.
No doubt. I mean, you've got to know that somebody who's a troll or somebody's actually gone out of their way to just be a pain in the ass. Like their life's not happy. If their life was happy, they'd be doing stuff. They wouldn't be sat there watching something and chirping.
Exactly.
You know?
No, I agree, mate. I agree. Lee, you're very quiet.
Listening.
Okay.
You know, I was always brought up, if you've got nothing to say, don't say anything.
Okay.
But do it noisily.
Just listening to what everybody said, because it all makes sense. It's all relevant. What was that?
Just do it noisily.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, as far as, you know, people kind of looking in and this whole issue of people chirping in and putting their penneth worth in, you do feel, I think we all have those moments where we're watching a TV program or looking at a YouTube channel and you just think, I'm here, it's pissing down with rain, it's freezing cold, I can't play golf, and some bloke's playing in Dubai or wherever it might be, or somewhere in America, Australia, whatever, and you just think, oh, you just feel so not enraged, but you feel so kind of jealous about it.
Yeah.
But then it goes in a second. It's
exactly.
when you've got a bit of a mental issue when that goes into you and you think, right, they're going to pay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what's the point? It's
no
like
point. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you know, the likes of Liam and James, they've all been over to Dubai recently to play golf, but it's their job.
Yeah.
And entertainment is classed as a key worker, which is
also, if it's a nice thing to do and you want to do it, go and do it. You know, I mean, it's not down to us.
If I was in the position where I could get on a plane and go to Dubai or go wherever to play golf and film it, I wouldn't be sat in my car in Cov with a fucking pissing down rain talking to you lot. I'd be on a plane.
That's just
anybody that says otherwise is a liar.
Yeah, of course.
Look at it.
Are we talking about Fly Dubai to film some vlogs?
Yes, mate,
I didn't mean to bring up necessarily Dubai. I was just saying that when you see people better life than yours on YouTube, you just feel like so enraged, but you don't take to pen because it goes in a split second and then you do the dishes and get on with your life and that's it, you know. But some people with mental issues might actually, that's the point where it gets them too much and then they get stuck in. So they have got issues.
I have a question on that.
On what?
On the whole mental issue with, you know, if somebody will quite happily just jump on your channel, do these same people, if they don't like an episode of Coronation Street, write to the editor?
Well, Points of View ain't around anymore, is it? I don't know if you can remember. Is it still around?
Yeah.
I remember it used to be on a Sunday evening.
I think it's on the One Show or something like that now. Gee, sorry, mate. I think something like that for 5 minutes.
If it's still about, it's still about. But I always remember the old show. And Lee, people used to write complaints about there was something in an episode that shouldn't have been there, and you think that's really trivial. That's not going to bother anyone else. Why are you writing in about that? So
what a nation.
The thing is, it's so much easier now as well, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, jump on the computer, send an email.
Like before, it was taken to a pen and send it to Esther Rantham or whoever it was. You know, that's hardcore,
weren't it?
I tell you what, we're one hell of a nation when we give something for free and you still complain about it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, that's exactly it. It's like somebody coming up to you, offering you some food, you taking it, and then you just like absolutely complaining. Show me the chef, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you made a comment, Stu, about something about YouTube, and I don't think it is just YouTube. Look at social media on the whole. We look at social media day in, day out, Instagram, Twitter. Not so much Twitter, because I think generally people spout whatever they want on Twitter, but Instagram, Facebook, people are showing highlights, always highlights of
absolutely,
their
yeah,
life.
and it does people's heads in.
That I think is a huge impact on people's mental health. Huge.
That's what they're called, influencers.
Exactly, and they do, but they're not influencing people positively, are they? Really?
No, everyone's an influencer. It's like everyone is a role model, but you can have bad influencers and bad role models, but they're a role model.
Yeah.
You just have to sift your way through the shit to get to the good ones.
Yeah,
if they got a big audience, they're influencing people, aren't they?
Exactly, but you look at the people that are influencers, and I'm not talking your people with millions of subscribers like your Rocks and people like that, because they're proper. But then you talk about your low level of influence, with like your 25,000, your 10,000, your arseholes that have been on Sex on the Beach or X on the Beach or fucking whatever the shit is. They're the people that the youth of today are looking at and wanting to be like. They ain't what you want. That's not real life.
I tell you what, I think it's getting better though, don't you, Graham? I think it's getting to a point now where like my kids are more savvy than certainly I was 3 years ago. I mean, they look at an Instagram post of a guy with 50 Lamborghinis, and then within 2 seconds they'll find out whether they own them or not. But they don't think they do. You know, whereas in the past it was like, look at those cars, he must be absolutely minted.
How old are your kids, Stu? Sorry.
I got a good range from 10 to 16.
See, so yours are a little bit older than mine. See, my eldest is 7.
Yeah.
So she's not sort of into that influencer side of thing at the minute. She's still into Jojo, Siwa, and whoever that crap is. But sort of your 16-year-old potentially, they'll be looking at people like I've mentioned. I mean, I know one of them really well. And he's changed a lot recently.
Name drop?
Nope. No, because of what he's going through at the minute, mate. It's not fair. He's massively changed recently because of certain circumstances. But prior to that, you look at his Instagram and you think, that ain't your life, mate. You're chatting shit. But everyone thinks it's like that and wants to be like that. It's just, I think there's not enough controls around social media or influencers, to be fair. I think, and not everybody can see that it's not real life.
How do people who play golf, genuine question, because I can, because of what I do and what, I don't know whether you guys are the same, I could put golf to bed for 4 or 5 months, like, because I go on tours and then I come home. I was on tour for 4.5 months earlier on this year. I can just go, I'm not playing golf, bang. It's not a problem for me. But for guys and girls watching that are golfers that can't get out on the course, what do you do?
See, this is the thing. This is where I'm at the minute.
We do this.
Yeah, I'm at that point first because I haven't got anything other than golf, really. Obviously, I've got the cars. I can't be out detailing cars at the minute. I can't be out modifying cars at the minute because I ain't got the weather. So that's pretty much what sport is about, because I haven't, other than golf, obviously, you know, going out with a family and whatnot is there, going out with the kids and stuff to a degree. You can't really do that at the minute. But I think take away golf from a lot of people, they haven't got anything else.
No, so the question still stands. What advice would you guys have for people that are missing golf? Because I noticed a guy I've downloaded, actually. It's like a free golf workout. I don't know if you saw on Twitter. He gave away, he's doing this big free like fizz for golfers, which I think is a good thing. I think that it's difficult because do you feed yourself snippets of golf, go out in the garden, hit some swings, change, you know, watch 50,000 people telling you 45,000 different grips on YouTube, or do you put it to bed, forget about it? It's a break from the game.
I think some people will obviously do both. I mean, for me, obviously, I still do this with Lee and Corin and whatnot. So I'm still talking to golfers about golf and watching golfers. I'm still golf active, as it were. And I'll sit in the carpet. I've had a new putter. I'm sitting in the carpet, standing on the carpet, and I'm literally putting a groove down the bloody thing. So I can't detach from golf.
Okay.
Personally, I can't.
Yeah, I think it's your level, and not your level. It's got nothing to do with the level. It's more your passion for it. You know, a lot of guys who've just got into it are just so obsessed by it. You know what it's like when you first started.
Yeah.
You just will do anything. You'll read anything. You'll consume anything. I've got people sending me swings in their gardens. They're not even eating golf balls. So I'm like, what on earth can I tell you about your swing if you're not eating a golf ball? You know. So it's kind of loads and loads of like the passionate ones. But I think people that you can find out whether you're that passionate about it anymore by what you've said, folks. You know, take it or leave it a little bit. And if you've been playing a long time, there's no concerns about getting a lot worse. Like if you were a runner and you couldn't run, you'd be obsessed by not being able to run because you'd think your fitness level would disappear and then it'd be such hard work again. Well, we know that golf's not really like that. Not once you've played for a little while. It does peak down a bit, but nothing goes. You can't suddenly not hit the ball anymore. But yeah, I think it's nice to just kind of stay involved in it is whatever way you can, because it's an interest for the brain, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I like Lee. I've stepped away from the game, and Lee stepped away from the game for a number of years. And I think that. Oh, did you? I didn't know that.
Yeah. When I joined the Air Force at 20, I found birds and beer. I'll be honest with you, I did. So from 21 to probably 25, I just never picked up a golf club.
See, that's where I did things differently.
I say birds, I mean girls. At
the
time, that's what it was.
Let's not be animalist.
I did you join when you were 21, folks?
Well, I was end of 21, 22.
Yeah.
So I joined. They gave you just for men?
No. There's no just for men in here, man.
I signed up when I was 18. Like literally, I signed up the 31st of July after my 18th birthday, and on my birthday was 10th of July. Whenever I was 18, mate. So
no, but what year was it? Did you join?
So 87.
Can you remember?
Whenever I was 18, mate. It was the 31st of July after my 18th birthday. I was born 83. Do the maths. 2000, 2001.
All right.
2001, 2002 it would have been. But
good job I won your drill instructor a holder, Jay. You wouldn't have got through the training.
Corporal Chris Jones was my DI, mate. He was Welsh, little short Welsh fella, /peak. Lovely guy, unless you got on the wrong side of him. But yeah, that's when I found wine, women, and song. But I never stopped playing golf.
No.
It was a case of Friday night would be out on the lash. Saturday morning, I turn up to golf Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, still steaming.
Yeah.
By the back nine, I'm sober again. And then I'm back on it again Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So I never stopped playing golf until I started fighting, which was much later.
It's an interesting subject for me and you. I don't know about the other guys, but how you, because me and you have had to deal with putting golf away. I've done, I don't know how many tours overseas I've done. It's a lot. I think you could give, or we could give quite good advice with how you cope with not having the game in your life. It's an interesting one because
it is.
All golfers in England at the moment have to deal with that, mate. Yeah,
and I think I think it's down. You've just got to find something. It doesn't necessarily matter what it is to occupy your time.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I stopped playing just by accident for 4 years. I kind of, didn't play quite so much. And then other things took over in my life at that point. And then I didn't join a golf club, which made it a little bit difficult. So you drop out the social scene.
Yeah.
Nothing, no sort of team games or anything. And then before I knew it, a year had gone by. And I really, literally didn't miss it until the day a mate of mine said, "Oh, you used to play golf, didn't you?" I was like, yeah, I did. And then we wanted to go and have a round. And then I really missed it. Suddenly it was like, what was I doing? Why did I not play? And so it's like you say, it's committing your mind to something else. Yeah. And that's the only way with all of these things. And I think also with the mental issues, it is fully focusing. Like the mind can wander when you literally have nothing to think about. And it doesn't have to be an expensive anything. It just has to be some sort of passion. It just has to be. And that's where YouTube, I think, is brilliant because I, for one, can sit in an airport when we used to fly and just sit on a computer and look at YouTube tutorials on anything for hours and hours and hours. And I'll just like consume it. It could be the stupidest of little things. And at the end of that thing that I've learned to do, I never use it again. But,
That's it. I think I'm sure Ian will testify when he comes back. When you're on tour and you're away, forced not to be able to play, like the situation we're in now, we're forced not to be able to play golf. When you're on tour, you're that busy doing stuff. You can't. You're not thinking about golf. It's not at the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it manageable. Whereas now, whilst we're forced not to be able to play golf, we ain't working. Got a lot of people are not working. They've got a lot of spare time. So I think it's that you need to find something. It doesn't even necessarily be productive. If it's productive, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
Just to keep your mind occupied.
Well, also it's the interaction. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, I've been chatting to like Zoom calls. I've been doing loads of those with friends. It's almost like I see them more than I used to. So that is really good. But I think when you're an older person or somebody who's not tech savvy or can't get access to this kind of technology, it really is lonely, because I don't think anybody should be sat on their own with nothing in their brain and no social contact. Because I mean, that is dangerous. I don't think humans should be like that in any way. And now we're almost forced into that. You know, if someone's elderly or can't really get out, nobody can visit them and they can't do anything. I think that is really dangerous, you know.
That's an interesting point. And I was thinking while I was there, sorry, G, we all think that we're missing golf. I couldn't give a shit really about how I play. And I think when you get to a certain age, golf, the game is second to seeing your friends. Having company and so on and so forth. You know, what percentage of golfers really care that much? Maybe I'm doing them a disservice, but actually it's just, I get out, I see pals, I get active. The game really is.
Well, this is funny because the I would say we didn't play much golf last year, obviously, but one of my fondest games was when I played with you and Lee last year.
Yeah,
and it was the worst I've played for probably 15 years. But
them two, man, they bring it down. They bring your down to their level.
It was great, and I really enjoyed it. I couldn't give a shit I was playing at all. In fact, it was better. In fact, sometimes if I'm playing well and somebody else is playing poorly, I would rather reverse it, because I don't want it that way. Because you know, I would much rather see someone else playing well than myself every single time when I'm playing with them.
And this is the great thing about this group, this small group, and I'm not sure if I'm a part of it. But
no, you're not. You can jog on.
Is the fact that you can pick up the phone to somebody are all around the country now, like we just do. Me and Graham me and Lee have met a few times. It's mate, I'm over your way, fancy my golf by a mile, and the golf doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I think that's not just sort of channel people that run channels. I think that's everybody who comments. You know, because I'm just as happy to play with somebody who's commented on a channel. I mean, I'll definitely play with those guys. You know, they don't have to be a big influencer or anything else. Like, it's all just a community now, isn't it?
I think these lives, you know, I think Corin started the Saturday night lives and then onto a Saturday, then to a coffee morning. I think they massively help, because whichever day of the week is, there's pretty much a live going on and there's always someone to speak to. There's always someone to interact with.
Definitely play with it.
No, the big channels don't do them, and I get that, but
or anything else. Like, it's all just a community now, isn't it?
I think these lives, you know, I think
turn your YouTube off, Paul.
YouTube.
The coffee mornings, I think they.
It's because they have delusions of grandeur, mate. That's what it is.
There's pretty much a live going on, and there's always someone to speak to. Who's got the music on? Who's got
Paul in it? Who's got the YouTube on?
Oh, sorry, is that what you said?
Yeah, YouTube. Come on, get out.
Amateur, man. You're
I'm already muted. Veteran of YouTube.
Sorry.
And now,
have we got Paul or Rodney?
You've got Paul.
Good.
Paul, I've got a question for you. How comes every time you launch a new channel, Lee Golf Nuts is always the first one on?
Because he never says no to anything.
I've never seen so many channels. If they were, if you were getting paid for each channel, it's incredible.
I've killed them both today. I've killed them.
Which ones?
The Golf Bar and the PNUK. I've killed them both.
Why?
I moved the ones where I don't swear and PNUK onto my main channel, and the Golf Bar I'll put on my Happy Me Paul channel.
Oh, right. Okay.
They don't need their own channels. That's what I mean.
Where's your dog going?
I've just seen him.
Oh, yeah. Where's dog going? While we're on here, Graham.
Say again.
Am I allowed to eat while we're on?
If you want to eat, mate, you carry on.
I'm just gonna go and have my roast chicken and roasties and broccoli, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You crack on, mate. You crack on, mate. We've not got long left anyway, I don't think.
As
So
long as
yeah, I
you
mean,
don't try
obviously,
and sell us a different version of Bisto.
oh, imagine, does Italian Bisto taste the same?
I don't know, but I've got a
We'll ask him
version.
when he comes back.
I've got a thing of Fergs coming on with 5 different versions of Bisto going, well, this one's in my top 10 this week.
Now,
it's deadly.
now.
It's like everything else. I just want to go out and buy all that stuff now, and it's not cheap,
Like-
is it?
Seriously, since me and Fergs have started talking fragrances in sort of like the last 6-7 months, I've spent so much on fucking perfume. It's a joke. Oh,
I
it's
know.
insane.
I thought I was pretty posh with my sort of 80 quid cologne, but I know he's talking about 500 quid for a
500.
bottle.
Yeah,
And I can't get out of my mind now.
He texted me the other day saying about the that one. I'm like, is it any good? And he ignored me. I'm like, it's not like him not to answer the question. Then I watched the vlog. I'm like, I ain't buying. It's like £115 or 130 quid for 15 mil. Like,
Which one was that?
expensive. The one that it's the Fragrance de Bois
Yeah.
that he did the other day. It's like 545 quid for 100 mil.
Because that Creed's expensive as well, but that smells beaut.
Yeah, I think I think that might be the
mod-
one I'm after.
Didn't he say don't get it?
Yeah, the Creed Aventus. It's been around for around 10 years now. So they've sold the company. The new blend isn't as strong. It isn't as nice.
Well, I've only got it in. I have wax melts, and the lady that I get them off, it's one of Golf Mate's wife, Steve Serples.
Are they the FM? Are they the FM ones, Corinne?
What, the wax melts?
Yeah.
They're just sort of soy wax melts. She makes them herself.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
she puts Creed in these ones. So I've got Creed in that. It smells good.
I'm going to say that won't be real Creed. That won't be real Aventus at the price. But it'll be a blend of it. So it's probably yours is probably stronger than the actual Creed at the minute.
Yeah, she puts more in it to make it smell for longer as well. Oh.
Yeah. Because at the minute, from what he was saying, it's just not as good as what it used to be. There's better clones, as it were, of the Creed. But anyway, we're digressing, I think, aren't we? So yeah, I mean,
well, that's what you did when you rambled. You digressed.
Yeah. Bounce all over the place, mate. You want to listen to some of the well, I don't know if you listened to the golf one, the car one the other week. That went all over the place, all over it. Hour and a half long podcast.
That went round the estate, then went out the county and came back.
Oh, it was all over the place. The one that we recorded Monday night weren't much better. I had to keep reining him in. But yeah, definitely. So, have we got any plans for vlogs at home?
When it stops raining, probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I did one today. Well, yesterday I did one. Yeah, just gonna have to. The thing is, it's not now. It's just sort of something to do, isn't it? It's funny because I'm not sure how much it affects your channel, like as far as the kind of almighty algorithm, but it's just something to do, isn't it? And I actually watch, like, I've been watching James Robinson and his girlfriend. I just watch anything. I mean, with no disrespect to anybody, I'll just watch any old stuff, And so I think it's quite nice as long as it's like 10 or 15 minutes. I'll just watch somebody chatting with their missus. Fine. I don't know. It's just like my stupid kind of voyeurism, maybe, but it's entertainment.
I think James has been pretty clever with that second channel, in the sense of calling it James Robinson. Obviously, gaining the following off the golf to get it monetized ultimately. And then I think he's talking about changing the name, isn't he, to him and his girlfriend?
The thing is, you have to, though, don't you? I mean, you can't be a daily vlogger starting with nothing because no one cares about you. You got to spin off something,
Yeah, I think he's been pretty clever with it.
Yeah, he'd be doing okay. I think his numbers are really quite good, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, he's shot up to 5,000 in like a week. Say again.
More Smith and Jones. You got to give a shout out to your second channel, Stuart.
I know. I don't put enough on there. And the reason why is because I don't get paid anything for it.
Mate, trust me.
I thought about it and I thought, I could really enjoy putting stuff on there. But my golf channel's kind of doing all right at the moment. I'm actually like seeing some numbers for a change. And so I think, should I put a bit more energy into that? I don't know what to do,
Just made the top two channels that make no money then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to buy some followers. That's what you need to do. Like somebody was telling me the other week, get yourself your 1,000 and you're right. Have you got 1,000, Graham, yet or not?
No, 7. See, this is what I was going to say about you mentioning about it. I know it is what it is. This is what I was going to say about you mentioning about the content and hurting your channel. A lot of people say these lives hurt the channel, but since I've been doing these every Wednesday, my numbers are going up because I'm not putting any other content out because I'm not filming in my back garden.
Yeah.
And so this is all I'm doing, and the numbers are going up. So I don't think
it wouldn't hurt your channel because you're not doing anything else. But if you did daily vlogs that got say 1,000 views each, then you went live and it only gets 200.
Right, yeah. See,
the one video that looks like a low performing YouTube go, well, 1 in 6 videos not working.
Yeah, see,
because Joe Rogan does all right out of it, doesn't he?
Oh, massive. Joe Rogan and True Geordie out of the podcast, they do all right, yeah.
Yeah, but True Geordie's lives have gone to Twitch.
Not his podcasts.
Kickoff only.
His podcasts are not live though, are they?
No, that's it. He's got a couple of shows, hasn't he? So he's live. He's the kickoff and the knockout, the fighting ones. They're on Twitch now, and then obviously he's got his podcast and the True News.
Yeah, the podcast
on YouTube.
Live, though,
no, of course they're not. No, they're not.
Does he know much about football?
True Geordie? I don't think so, mate. He knows a little bit. He knows as much as any other football supporter.
All right. So he does football. He does football podcast, doesn't he?
No. He does. His podcasts are genuinely on fucking anything.
They're generally on what's happened in the world of YouTube that week.
No, that's True News.
Yeah, he has people on as well.
He has 30-minute True News. Then he has his proper podcast.
Oh, yeah. He's had Robbie Williams on there and also.
He's had everyone on there, mate. He's had so many people.
That's the genius of it, though, because he probably looks at what's making the news or what's getting views and makes a fun podcast about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you've got a big enough podcast, when anybody brings a book out, they're coming on it, aren't they?
Of course they are, yeah. Of course they are. And I think he's got 2.9 million now, or 1.9 million. So he's got a decent following, mate. So, yeah.
It's funny though, the little loopholes that you can find, isn't it, in this whole game? I was watching it, that this guy, Mike 3D, I think his name is. He put a picture up of the new Sim 2 or something like a month or so ago. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I went along, clickbaited in. And it's kind of just him talking about what he thinks, and I think he's like a 10 handicapper or something. And it's got 20,000 views. And yet all his other ones have got like about 200, God, that is clever. He's got some pictures off of Golf My Spy, and he's just talking about it. Put the link up, and he's got like tons of activity on it. And you think, God,
I've literally just done the same with the vlogcast that I've done with the car channel. I've put the title is "What's the best M3?" Right, you ain't seeing me smoking around in M3s, mate. You see me sat in my room talking about the fuckers.
Yeah. Especially if there was a new one out. Especially if we talk about the new one the day it comes out.
The G80?
If a new M3 gets released on the 14th of April, if you put a vlogcast on talking about the new M3 on the 14th of April, you're in like Flint.
It's already recorded, mate.
Do you know what I wonder about these, like back to golf, I wonder about the Rick. They all do these pre-release and everybody looks at it, but I always thought there's got to be a good sort of chunk of the market that just want to look at it when they can get their hands on it before they go down to the shop rather than now.
That's
I feel like they've abused it by then because they've done months of it,
The thing is, what you'll find with a review, I think reviews of people are classed as, they call them evergreen because people continue to go back and watch them. But I've obviously bought P760s recently and an M5 Tour recently. I've bought them and then I've still gone back and watched the reviews.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm pretty certain I'm not the only one that does that.
Well, the thing with the Ping G425 was it had already been released in 2 different countries before it got released here. It was supposed to be released in September, failed release due to COVID. So people have actually used this golf club in different countries anyway.
And you can't
What's your most vlogs? What's your most viewed vlog, lads and girls? I don't know who's on. Sorry, I've only got the front page on. Sorry.
Corin's well, Neil's there. Corin's gone away.
Mine's by far the Arcos review.
Exactly. I think every single one of us will say it's a review. So
mine's not a review.
Yeah, because you didn't do. Oh, you did do reviews, didn't you? What's yours?
What's yours then? Come on.
Yours.
Mine is by a long way.
Watch vlog.
A guide to buying second-hand clubs. It's got about 11,000 views.
That does pretty well, actually, though, doesn't it? Yeah, stats, golf, and all that.
Honestly,
I'm gonna unpopular opinion. That's still a review.
It's not reviewing clubs, though.
Review.
No clubs.
It was a
Mine,
review with
hold on,
If
I
It's
haven't
a
said.
Golf Factory. Was it a Golf Factory one?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't said my
Big
most
kind of-
my
little
most
bit of
views is a
review of that,
review, but it's not a golf club.
Sorry.
Mine's not a golf club. It's a
Okay.
comparison
fine.
between GPS
Oh.
devices.
I was just wondering what everyone's kind of because I think that's half the battle is recognizing what works on your channel.
Yeah.
Because
I think that generates more subs though, Fergs. The trouble is with those evergreen ones, a lot of people, like if you stick into your search because you're looking for a new pair of shoes or whatever it might be, you might go along and watch a review on that, but you very rarely think, right, I'm subbing to this.
100%.
Because I know when I've got I did
don't need
50,000 on my Arcos, I definitely don't have that as subs,
No,
and it's absolutely
100%.
not related at all, you know. So it's
Exactly,
a different
but you
audience,
don't-
isn't it?
All you need to do is you need 1,000 subs, get monetized. Right? If you've got 1,000 subs, but your vlogs are getting 1 million views, you don't need.
It depends on your subject because we all probably look at cameras, we all look at lighting. I go on, then I'll watch something about an Amazon product I'm thinking about buying, but I don't subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Yeah.
Well, you just ring me instead.
What? No, I do. I ring Lee all the time.
Yeah, no, I do the same. But the stuff that I go through and the stuff I click on, I mean, I've never wanted it in my life, you know, like a 15 grand drone or something. You think that would be nice, but I'm never going to buy it. And I wouldn't subscribe,
that's it,
you know, unless it was unbelievably a fantastic review, like a Pete McKinnon or something, in which case I do, because I just like, it's eye candy just to watch the kind of cinematic of.
The thing is, let's say Pete McKinnon did a vlog or a review of a £100 drone. Would you buy it?
Well, if he said it was amazing, I would, yeah.
I wouldn't. Do you know why I wouldn't? Because he could make a 50p drone look like a DJI Mavic.
Yeah,
couldn't he?
I know,
be
but
honest.
yeah, it's funny because when the Mini came out at that time, I had the Mavic like Pro 2, which was much better than the Mini.
Yeah.
And when he delivered what he delivered with it and said what was good about it and the things that he didn't necessarily miss from the bigger drones, I was like, well, that's exactly what I want a drone for. So I just chopped
The
straight
2's
over.
out now, isn't it? The Mavic Mini 2's out.
Yeah, it
Mavic
is. Yeah,
Mini 2,
4K version. Yeah, it's nice. But I don't want 4K because it just does my head in with file size. So even that, you know, so it was just the perfect little one. Nobody hassles you for licenses. And it does what we do. We just want a picture of the bloody golf hole.
Does it matter? The drone, does drones and because I said to when we spoke to Rick Shields, I said, or we did a review actually of his channel. I said, I don't want perfection on YouTube Golf. I don't want production. I don't want. I mean, I don't watch any of it, but I don't watch. I don't want it for perfect. I want it for amateur. I want to see people I know producing golf vlogs. I don't want it to be all singing and all dancing.
No, I hear you, but I think at the same time we're so used to, if you watch a lot of it, which you don't now, but if you watch a lot of it,
I do watch some, by the way.
You kind of see that establishing shot, and it's only a 2-second one. You don't want to see loads of it. You just think, oh, I see. There's the sea. There's the hole. There's the clubhouse. Right, let's get on with the golf. And so I don't think that's overkill. I think it's just like, here we are. Brilliant. That'll do. When you got 20 minutes of it, just turn me off, you know. But
That's it. I think
that
that's
initial. There we are, you know.
I think that's why Andy and Rick ain't as big as Eric, not Rick. I think that's why they're not as big as they, in my opinion, should be. I like the cinematic sweeping shots. I love that shit. But more people don't than do. And that's why they're
you're in the minority. Most people just want to be able to hit their wedge off the ground, you know, and that's why Eric's never going to score there. He's kind of tipping into two camps, isn't he? Like the celebrity camp and the kind of cinematic camp. And both of them, although he does them quite nicely, he doesn't really do the cinematography justice. Like you just would watch one of the epic kind of cinema guys for that. And he doesn't really do the celebrity one either because most people aren't that interested in golf. And so I think he's always going to dilute his own market a little bit. I mean, he's still outstanding, obviously, but not everyone wants it.
His video is?
What's that?
Eric's. Do you know what his video is? Playing golf with the American fat version guy of The Office. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, that's down to his fans.
This is what it's about, though. The best productions and the best vlogs don't get the most views.
No, they don't.
Don't get the most views.
No. Do you know what? For me, Owen hit the nail on the head the other night in his thumbnail one. If you've got a good thumbnail, if you've got a good title, people will watch it. or they'll watch a little bit of it. They'll watch enough of it.
There is a trouble with that, and
They'll draw you in.
I mean, all I can try and believe in is that the quality will be seen eventually. I think if you video pretty shitty content with no personality, let's just say as well, but if the content is bad, the sound's bad, etc., you know, the numbers will not grow. People will still click into clickbait.
I think
but
the
numbers won't build up because you need that. You need that quality to back it up, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I talked to Owen last night. They don't share the content. Sorry, they don't share the thumbnail. They share the content.
Yeah,
the
that's
right. They'll get you through the front door, but the content.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a bit like a car, isn't it? I mean, if you've got an outstanding looking car, if it rides shit, then you know you're not going to spread the word. You're going to look good for 5 minutes, but it's never going to go anywhere. And I think it's the same with this. I mean, it's nice to have a thumbnail that kind of makes your video look great as long as you've got something to back it up.
I watched an interview with Mr. Beast the other week about his secrets, and he said it exactly how it was. He was like, listen, decent thumbnail, decent title, straight into the vlog, no messing about, no intros. Into the vlog, tell people what's going to happen, and have a hook at the end, which he does the giveaways, right? And he said, tags, they mean fuck all. He's like, it's nonsense. The quality of the vlog will win through. Straight in, don't have an outro, don't say thanks for watching, click below and thanks for that. Just go, just bang, end it, because people click off the intro, so you won't see them. They won't see it, the outro. Sorry. So if you've got a 1 minute outro, he went, people ain't interested in an outro. Just end the vlog.
I must have. I think I probably watched the same one. But don't you think that is sort of from a privileged position of having a huge subscribership? I think the tags and all the things that we're all scrapping around to try and get right is because we've got to look slightly better than another little tiny channel.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's quite hard when you literally have no throw and no reach. You know, when you've got a huge channel, you can sort of deliver all that spicy stuff because they're all going to have a little watch and you want to keep them watching it. But if you don't have that huge kind of following, somehow you've got to kind of stand out, haven't you?
The giveaways work for people.
No. I've never done one. Never, ever done one, mate.
No, I've done. So, I mean, I had £1,000 worth of kit on the Rick Shields one, and I think I had about 5 people enter it. I was like, "This is a 5 in 1 chance to win £1,000," and they still didn't care.
Didn't they?
Like that's what you should do. I mean, if you wanted to make good money on YouTube, you go through all the genres of all the little tiny channels with maybe 500 or 600 people, and then go into all their free giveaways, because I guarantee they're only going to get about 20 or 30 people. And they're giving away big stuff to try and get somebody to come onto their channel. You could clear up if you did them all. The odds would be in your favor, you know. Yeah,
they definitely would, wouldn't they? Right then, guys and girls. Go on.
Are you cold?
Yeah, going in now.
I fucking thought you might be. You sat your cat with a t-shirt on in January.
Mate, I had shorts on earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you northerners.
Yeah, I'm in the Midlands.
Lee told me the other day that he's in the middle of the country. I couldn't believe that.
I am.
Lee Jones?
He is,
yeah. UK?
So
we worked it out. Yeah, no, Great Britain.
You go.
Is he drunk?
Well, hang on. If you go from the top of Scotland to the bottom of England, I am in the middle.
Yeah. 100%.
I couldn't believe it. I thought Birmingham was the middle.
Scotland's massive.
Do you know what, mate? The middle of the UK.
It is, and that was my argument.
Middle of Britain, middle of England.
Yeah,
is literally about 3 miles that way.
Yeah, there's a point in there where there's some
Meriden. Yeah, it's got it's literally about 3 miles that way.
The dead centre of the UK is this big cemetery in Birmingham.
Wow.
Is it not the statue? It's in Meriden, then, right? I'm making it up.
No, he's
furthest from any coastline, something like that. That Meriden, is it?
Yeah, Meriden.
I don't know how you define what's the middle.
Are you all going to have a golf day?
When we're allowed.
Okay.
Apparently, it's in Italy.
Yeah, I fucking know. I've only got 2 bedrooms, G.
It's all right, mate. As long as you've got a double bed, I'll top and tail with you.
Well, I said to Lee earlier on, thinking about getting rid of my second bed as well, and just putting a bit of a studio in there, but I don't know yet. For my 70 views on my last vlog.
Boom. They'll come, mate. They'll come. Right then, boys and girls, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching again. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bergs.
And there we go.